Welcome aboard. I'm Sharm Brown from the Armory & Jones service team. And today I'm out going to do a little bit of crabbing. We're on an event. I'll get lucky opportunity to sneak off and put my pots in. So a few things about crab pots. Okay, in Queensland, you've got to make sure you've got a clear tag, your name and address on, and your float is clearly marked with your name and address. On top of that, you only have to have 4 pots per person in the boat. So remember that one. It costs you quite a bit of money. So my preferred bait. So I love these 4-post pots, and I love to use salmon and chicken mixed together. I know it's a weird one, but it seems to work really well. So I like to put it in a bait bag as well, which then I just put in the bottom of these bait holding bags built into these crab pots. Makes it really easy, and they don't get ripped open and you lose your crabs because they've got the bait already and they're off. Now, we just got to go find a good spot to put it in. We're in a great little creek here. I'm looking for little drains, little holes, anywhere I can kind of get the water to stay over the pot for the longest possible period. So we'll go have a little quick look around and see what we find. All right, I've pulled up on this little spot here. It's a little drain going up into these mangroves, which is ideal. Crabs are going to come and go here. So I want to set my pot in the middle of the drain and in a nice cool shade too, because I may not be able to get back to this pot until late tomorrow morning, maybe even evening. So I'll drop him in, we'll get him all sorted up. All right. Make sure your pot's the right way up. On top of that, always try to hang your floats in a tree for when you come back, sometimes of an evening, it can be really hard to find. So I find you get your white float, you put it in a tree like that. When you come along with your spotlight, your torch, looking for your pot this evening, you'll be able to find it easily amongst all these trees. It can be quite disorientating out here in the dark. Okay, it's next day and we've come to check the pots. So we've had an overnight soak, so that's a good period, and pulled up on the first pot and we'll have a look what's in it. Okay, we've got a little something in here. All right, well that's pretty good. So what we've got in here is 2 females and 1 large male. So we've done all right here this morning. We'll shake him out and we'll move on to the next pot. I always like to have a large tub like this with me. You get crabs loose in the bottom of the boat, it'll definitely give you a bit of a surprise, and it'll show you a game of run around the boat. I'll try to get the females out first, which if I'm clever enough, I can get that one out. And I've got that one out, which leaves me that large male. You can see in the back there by his flap on the back, he's a male, good sized crab too. So the old bait, never leave the old bait in. Always get rid of the old bait. Like crabs are a bit like us, they only like fresh things. So again with the salmon and a little bit of chicken. So I'll put this one right back where I had it. Overnight this area's become scented with the crab, with the bait smell, so more crabs will come. It takes them a little bit sometimes to find the bait. So back in the same spot and we'll continue on. We're doing all right here. Okay, nothing in that one. I thought I'd just show you how to tie a crab up. There's many different techniques to this. This is the way I do it. I use this string here. It's like baling twine. It's excellent for the job. I usually kind of measure myself a good length of string out like that. Chop it off. Now, the next thing is catching the crab. Well, they can be foisty and they'll definitely have a crack at you. So a stick sometimes is handy, but usually I'm quick enough to just grab them. So this could be interesting, but I'm pretty confident. We've already got a couple crabs. So I'm just gonna grab that one there. So I get my hands around the back. Never put your fingers underneath the crab. He can reach around to that position there and get you. So you see the way I'm holding it like this, and my fingers are clear from underneath. That's how you tell a male. Tomorrow I might show you some females. and the quality of the crab. You push on this piece of the carabus right here. If it's soft and spongy, that means the crab is empty. But this crab's quite hard, looks great, and its size. I didn't bring my measuring stick with me, but I can tell that's easy 15 centimetres. So we'll do a little tie up. The first thing, you get comfy, put the crab under your foot like that. Then with your string, come around the bottom, come underneath his flappers. So now you're under his flappers at the back there, his little swimmers there. So you got that position. Roll the string around the edge of his carabus and then quickly go around and catch the claw. Do the same on the other side. Sometimes you've got to entice the claw out a little bit, like that. So you've got the other claw under control. So now we've got his claws under control. Push them down in position where we want them, nice and safe. So the next bit is we go under here, grab it around here and tie one granny knot. And then reach back underneath, a bit difficult with my back sometimes. Hold it, give it a good tug like that, and that's locked him in. You can see he's all tied in tight. Put your toes on the back of it like this, come on top, do 1, 2 more granny knots like this. Don't take your toes off, pull it tight, and there you go, perfectly safe, tied up mud crab. Let's talk about crabs, different sexes, very important. You cannot keep females in Queensland for a start. How do you identify them? So, female crab's got a very wide flap on the bottom of its carabus. That's how you identify it. You never keep them, so they always go back. How you measure a little male? So we've got a little male crab in here. Usually males are little crabs, the most angry crabs, and this one's no difference. So I'll get a hold of him. So there's your little male crab, and you can see on the bottom here, his flap is much narrower, so it's a much more sharper V, and that indicates the male crab. And if you measure it, as we know, it's 150 millimetres in Queensland. You put your stick on here from tip to tip, and you can clearly see that's not going to fit. So you need to be outside that 150 millimetres to be legal. We'll go on, we'll check a few more pots. We've got 3 good mud crabs. 3 good mud crabs out of 4 pots overnight. That's a great feed. So the next thing we're going to do is talk about putting them to sleep and cleaning the crab to cook them. It's best to put them to sleep. It's nice and humane, and it makes a better product at the end. All I usually use, I get myself a tub, a bag of ice, and just add a little bit of water to make a slurry. We'll leave them sitting here for about 20 minutes. We'll come back and we'll clean them up and prep them for cooking. I've had these guys now in here for 20 minutes and they're well and truly asleep. One of the ways to check, you pick them up, just touch their legs. You can see their legs just drop straight back down. Everything gets a bit messy now, but I like to do them cleaned. I don't like guts in my crabs when I cook them. Cut my string off. All right, so you get your thumb in here, you put it on the carabus, put your thumb in here, and you pull the carabus off the back of the crab. That's the first bit. Remove the dead man's legs, which is their lungs. Clean these bits. Now, snap the crab in half. Tuck it in your hand, and here's the guts, and you want to get rid of the guts. Simply just give it a flick, and the guts are gone. So I'll clean the rest of these up, and then we'll cook them. Traditionally, you get a big pot of water, a gas bottle, all sorts of things. You boil them, everything. It's too hard to lug that stuff around on your Riviera. So I love to use the Kenyan. I've worked out a way to do it. It comes out great. So the first thing I love to do with this is use a nice little bottle of beer, Stone and Wood. Great stuff. You pour it in. Just one will do. Over the top. Good fruity beer, that one too. So we need about 4 or 5 layers of alfoil on your tray. Okay, that's probably enough. So I'm going to whack it on the Kenyan now. I'll put my water under the tray to make sure I don't overheat it. And I give it 20 minutes on flat out.
It's been 20 minutes, the crabs are cooked beautifully. It's time to think about what's next. What's next is we've got to cool them down. You don't really want to eat too hot a crab. So I usually use a bit of a salt slurry. It's a fantastic way. Give them about half an hour in there. And then, nothing better than Moreton Bay mud crab. Once you cool them down, just break your claws off. This was always my favourite bit. Oh, it doesn't get any better than that. Out in your Riviera, having a beer, mud crab, what a great day it is.
Hey, sis. Oh, God. How good is that? Oh, that's the best mud crab I've ever had. Unbelievable. Fresh, straight out of the ocean.
And that's what I love to do. I love to catch some crabs and just get out there. We've had a lot of fun doing it, Randall and I. He's been helping me out. He brings me here in his Riviera, allows me to make a mess, bring my crab pots, and it's a fantastic weekend, and that's the result he likes the most.